Night.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horror Night Oasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Joining me tonight for this special Strobe Light Edition show is Ian. Ian, are you there?
I am here.
This was a surprise. We knew this was we knew this was happening because I think we mentioned it when we were doing our childhood fairy tale marathon, and of course Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. And I don't think we knew when it was going to be here, but it's here unexpectedly. And boy, we got a show tonight. We got Mickey's Mousetrap, aka The Mousetrap, as it's retitled now. And Ian, I don't think our world's any better.
No. No, not at all.
No, we always do these when there's a big release, and I don't even know if you want to call this big, but it's noteworthy, and there's a lot to discuss personally with the film, and I don't know, Ian. I mean, I this might be up there with like, oh, okay, so I'm just gonna go into it because there's not gonna be much room for a review because I think we're just gonna tear this film apart. There's no other way around it, and that's the only way to do this. So this is one of those shows. So strap in, everybody. So Mickey's Mousetrap, because I'm not calling it anything else besides what the poster says.
Right.
It's about oh Jesus. Let's get into how. Okay, so we have a couple stories going on at once. We have Rebecca, who is in custody behind bars, being questioned by two police officers or detectives about what happened at the Fun Haven amusement fun center in town. And she's relaying to them back the story of what happened, and they're questioning her back and forth. So it's intercut with this happened, that happened. Let me continue on the story. They question her. They do this, they do that, and they're all the kinds of who cares dialogue, basically. While we're also introduced to Alex, which is the main girl who works at the Fun Haven with her friend Gina. And Gina, she just don't even fucking worry about Gina because she comes in there and then she leaves to go on a date and then she comes back and she dies. Sorry, spoilers. Who cares? This is one of those who cares reviews. So anyway, it's Alex's birthday, and she's they're supposed to stay open because there's this group of kids that's supposed to be coming, and basically it's her group of friends, and that she did sort of made plans behind the owner's back to stay late and work late and still get paid in a sense while celebrating her birthday. So it's have fun with your friends, basically. So there's a small knit group of friends. Two of the friends in the group like Alex and want to date her. One more so than the other, who's like a jock, sort of. He's like a hockey player or team, whatever. It doesn't matter. And like next door, like there's another group of people in hockey jerseys that's meeting up for beers. But anyway, the crux of the film is that the owner of the Fun Haven goes back to his theater room in the Fun Haven Center and puts on the 8 millimeter film print of Steamboat Willie, and there's like posters and chairs, and he starts putting it, puts the film on the projector, and he starts watching it, and then for some reason, either again, it's Ian, this is one of those just because movies because I guess the film print or something is haunted or the mask is haunted because there's a vintage Steamboat Willie mask, Mickey Mouse mask in his cabinet, in his, trophy cabinet, and it starts talking to him. But then like there's later on it says, oh, he's messed up in the head because he got hit in the head with few many hockey pucks when he was on the hockey team. So it doesn't really matter, because who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? So he puts on the mask because the mask, it talks to him, and then he puts the mask on, and then he starts killing people, and he has teleportation powers, and he can't move when he's in strobe lights, because of reasons. Ian, this movie sucked, and not in the, and not in the reason for it to suck, because it's just there was no. This is how do I explain this? Okay, when Mickey Mouse or Steamboat Willie was put into the public domain, I believe that this director already had this film planned out, but not with Mickey Mouse as the protagonist, as the killer. Because it doesn't make fucking sense, for one. And
not at
two, I think the original mask was also in that cabinet at the very bottom shelf with the Jester mask. So I'm assuming that this was supposed to be a Jester clown movie. And he decided, oh, Steamboat Willie is going to be in the public domain. Why do I need to make it a Jester clown movie when I can put Mickey Mouse mask killer in there and get more recognition instead of just being a Tubi original and being lost in the shuffle of Tubi? Put Mickey Mouse in there, get more name recognition, and more people will see my movie. That's what this fucking film is. A fucking cash grab, and not a good one. Because nothing makes sense. The story is fucking stupid.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
I'm just sitting there and like, again, it's not entertaining in a bad movie way. It's just not enjoyable. As a slasher film, it sucks. As anything else, as a cash grab, it sucks because they don't do anything with it because they decided to not even do anything. Because it's not what he originally had planned. He shoehorned in Mickey Mouse Killer with everything else. It's supposed to be like a jive talking clown jester, I'm assuming, that teleports here to there through like various things, and like, I'm gonna fucking put Mickey Mouse in this instead and don't change anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and oh my lord. This movie was all over the place. And it's like nothing happens. Like at all. Like there's like a couple of deaths on and off screen, but like nothing memorable.
No, this is forgettable. And that's why I said the only reason that it's getting notoriety is because it's a Mickey Mouse mask. And like, if this was the clown or jester or whatever it originally was planned for, this would have been lost in the shuffle of Tubi. There's nothing here. This will just been bottom of the barrel. You're searching on the horror section. You're down to page 100 or how many ever movies deep, and like, oh, what's this? Oh, and plus the film's like, it just reminded me of another film that we didn't review, but it's related to the show. We had Tory Jones, and his latest film that came out last year was Phantom Fun World, and that was also set in indoor amusement play center with arcades about a masked killer. And that one's way better than this because at least they go into it. It's a little Friday the 13th in parts with the Phantom Fun World, but at least they made something. It wasn't a cash grab. He had good intentions with Phantom Fun World. This one, nope. I can't. Really, this was just one of those where you're just like, I can't believe it's there. I mean, obviously it's there, but it's like there's no thought put into this. I mean, the story just sucks, and like the characters, they're all over the place. It's like sort of like Mary Had a Little Lamb, where it's like there's too many. I mean, yeah, you have a group of friends and you get them picked off one by one, but it didn't really matter because they don't use them like a normal slasher. And then like the whole point of like the mask or whatever it is that's causing this to happen literally doesn't make sense. Like apparently you put the mask on or you get possessed by the film reel or whatever the fuck causes whatever the fuck is happening to happen, because it doesn't make sense for the owner, or just Mickey as he's proclaimed in IMDb, because I was like wondering like what's his name? They never give him a name, and no, fuck, just call him Mickey. And he's just like he's able to teleport, he's able to do all this stuff, and it doesn't like why is this mask haunted or the film reel haunted, or is it there's something there that's just like not thought out well, and it shows. This whole film is not thought out at all. It's just halfway through it making his normal movie like, you know what, Mickey's free to public domain now. Well, Steamboat Willie is. Let's put that in there, and I'll keep the movie the exact same way, and not make sense of a possessed whatever the fuck.
I think and that was like the two biggest problems was the fact that they just did nothing but talk the entire movie. Like, there was like no real like setup for anything. Everything just happened real fast, and then like this girl was getting chased by a guy wearing a Mickey mask, and then she runs to her friends, and they're like, "Oh, hey, nothing just happened." I was like, "Are you just going to pretend like that did not happen?" I was like, and when that girl kept taking her fucking arcade, like virtual reality goggles off, and he would disappear, and then she put it back on, he'd reappear. I was like, this is absolutely dumb. This is probably one of the worst films we have watched in a little while, because like it just felt like they didn't even try.
Yeah, this is one step below the mean one, where like at least like they made the mean one look like the mean one, but they didn't really do anything with the kills or making it fun with the kills. But at least, and plus that story was all over the place. But still, like it made for that I'll give it a pass, because at least they made him look like the Grinch. This one they just put a burly guy, gave him a Mickey Mouse mask, and like there you go. Like it's Mickey Mouse in a hockey jersey. Like what? You're not even trying. Like that's what I said. Like they couldn't give him like gloves or like overalls or anything like that to sort of make it intriguing. That's the reason I keep thinking that like it wasn't the original plan when he went out to make this film to include Mickey Mouse as the killer. It became public domain, and then he like, all right, change of plans. I mean, it's smart on him, to market the film that way, but it doesn't, as a film itself, it does not work because it does not work with what you're trying to achieve. Like the it doesn't make sense. It's another one. It's one of those, like we say, it's just because, like, nothing makes sense just because. The reason he's possessed, just because. Is it the film reel? No, what is it? I don't know. Just because. Okay. Why are these? Like, why did he put the Ryan, which was, I think he was the one passed out on the roller coaster. He just started it up. But you think the roller coaster would keep going faster and faster until something happened, right? No, he just gets off and stumbles around like and then he doesn't do anything afterwards. Like, he doesn't attack Ryan off the coaster that you think he would. Like, what? Why the hell did he start the fucking roller coaster? What? Oh, just because it'd be a cool scene.
Yeah, and like, why was he in a hockey jersey? Like, I mean, I was so confused because even they were confused. And like that whole trying to bring up, oh, this is what it's like in horror movies and Final Girl and shit like that. I was like, this makes the movie even dumber.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, okay.
That was already every movie does that, and it, Scream started that. But
yeah, and I was like, okay, this would work if this was a better written film. Like, this just feels like they didn't know what else to do, so they just kind of threw this shit in. And like, there's no explanation of anything. You're just, it's supposed, like, he teleports. Okay, that's stupid. I was like, there's no, like, he's just we don't even know if he's a guy, if he's a ghost. I mean, sometimes, the mystery's
exactly.
there.
Like, couldn't they take the mask off the dude? Like, maybe that'll stop it. No,
And they had so many chances to do that.
It's like that Mascara Diablo we reviewed a while back, where, like, all you had to do was just take the mask off, like, it'd stop everything. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, they didn't think things through all the way, and like I think again, like, there's just a lot of just like, this is like your basic bargain bin dollar store slasher film. No thought. It's cheaply made, and it's just forgettable. And you have to go back into the store again a couple days later to get some, to restock on it. It's just one of those. They're like,
yeah,
no. It's fodder. It's just not good fodder. It's just, you're just typical slasher film that does I mean, it's even below mediocre, man. It's just not. It's just.
It's been a while since we've torn into a movie like this.
It's just basic, and it's just not good. It's just, it's you say great value or it's just like, I mean, it's not even great value. it's that Chinese knockoff toy,
Yeah, and I mean, like, the cinematography looked great. I thought, like, the camera looked great. The actors were somewhat decent, some better than others. And I'm just like, and they made a point to have an actor from the Terrifier series in there. And they were like marketing like that too. And I'm like, you guys like just hyped this movie up for it to be nothing. Like, nothing happens for an hour and 20 minutes. The movie's over with, and you're like, And then even the after credit scene made no sense. But I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but like, it made even less sense after watching the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was just like, what? And then they are like, I mean, I don't want to give too many like spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, I already gave a few things away, but still, there's like, as you said, like that after credit scene just doesn't help. I mean, so what? That's all. That character's in on it now from the beginning. It doesn't make sense. She didn't even know that all happened before she got there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't. It just because, Ian. It's been a while since we've had a Just Because film, and this one's, oh my goodness.
The whole thing is just because.
Exactly.
Then he like randomly goes after the other hockey people in a different area. I was so confused by that too, because I was like, wait, so we're outside of the arcade, or is this still a part of the arcade and the guy was just hiding? And then like I was trying my hardest to figure out what was going on, because so much happened and not anything happening at the same time was just all over the place.
Yeah.
And like, I can understand, like, if it would have given us a better like background or something of just so, like, give us a little exposition of what's going on. I mean, other than this girl's having a surprise birthday party 2 weeks early and beating out a couple of other people's birthdays, that they made a weird point to make that they were doing that. I was like, that was a choice. I mean, it.
Like I said, man, this is just one of those where it became public domain and like it was a cheap cash grab, and he just, I mean, we already knew that going into it when you have a Mickey Mouse mask killer going around, but I expected a little bit more than just a standard. I mean, a little bit more thought put into it instead of taking your already existing property and then just shoehorning Mickey Mouse into it. Because I swear there's no other explanation for this film being the way it is without shoehorning Mickey Mouse into it and making everything else just work, square peg into a round hole. You're just trying, and it just does not work. And like when we first heard about Mickey in the public domain, I was like giving you, I was telling you ideas that was just coming off the top of my head. And it's like, that sounds way better. What I was telling you was like way better than what this turned out to be. And like, there's another Mickey Mouse one, Steamboat Willie movie coming out, which I think actually takes place on like the lake or ocean or something with a steamboat. So that one's more in line with what I had in mind with it, instead of just whatever the fuck this was.
And it's not even like, I mean, this is definitely not a Mickey Mouse movie.
No.
It's just in name only. And yeah, there was a Mickey Mouse mask. And it was just so weird because, like, the intercoms was him laughing, and he was messing with the telephone lines, and I was just like, "Is this
fucking 8-Ball?"
I mean, honestly, 8-Ball knew more what it was trying to be.
Yeah,
and that's the sad part. But
it's like, 8-Ball in the Mickey Mouse mask. Like, I knew it was familiar because 8-Ball teleported. He did stuff with the 911 operator, and he did. There we go. 8-Ball Mickey.
And it just like, man, like, this is so disappointing too, because like they could have done a little bit more with it. And
they should have done it with the kids. instead of the birthday party. Had them go after actual kids. That would have been a little bit better. A mouse mask killer going after kids. But
Yeah.
no.
And or at least give us like, is this I'm so hung up on the hockey jersey because they made a point to bring that up. And I'm like, oh, is this you? Is this you? Like, why was he in the hockey jersey? Did he was it the mask taken over by somebody on the hockey team? Like, we don't know. We don't know anything that happened. And it's just like, and everything just felt so like just like they just were taking it scene by scene without a script.
Yeah.
And
well, you have to change it up when you take out your main killer of whatever it was and put Mickey Mouse in there. I mean, you have to go on the fly and change it up.
Well, I get it because it was supposed to be like, I guess, a red herring. The hockey jersey was, but like that doesn't work because then you would have to explain why it's doing what it's doing. If it's just this random like demon thing that's able to teleport except for with strobe lights on it, that made no sense. It made no sense that strobe lights were its weakness. I mean, I guess it came from the film reel or something, and I don't know, because it made it look like the person like that turned that stuff on was murdered by the person in a mask. So like, what was the point of the mask other than to hide? Like, and then there's just so many questions, like so many choices were made that there
Poorly.
were yeah, like,
choices.
Hey, what if let's get a jock, and instead of a basketball jock, he'll be a hockey jock. And what if we put the killer in a hockey jersey to make you think it's him? Because he did make a weird comment saying, well, if you're not if I'm not your boyfriend, then I'm not going to protect you. And she was like, what does that mean? Oh, no, nothing. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You're trying to make her some red herring, or make him some red herring that he was the true killer when he's not. And
I don't even know if that even crossed my mind. I just assumed that the theater, not the theater. I'm thinking of him in the theater, but the fun park owner just put the mask on and became possessed, and that's what happened. Like, I never once thought of any other red herrings or anything like that. I mean, obviously, I think they're trying. I guess that you make a point of it now, but I never once thought that. It was just like he put the mask on and he became whatever, and it didn't make any sense to anything.
That's what I'm just trying to say. Like, it felt like that's what they were trying to go for. With
like, if they didn't have him teleporting or anything like that, and just normal slasher fare and like none of this possession crap. I mean, yeah, I could see that, but they didn't, and it just like, you can have like your killer in a amusement setting, park fun center setting, and sort of like Intruder, the 80s Intruder with all that stuff set in the shopping supermarket, and just like your other basic budget slashers. But this one is just the red herrings are through the like someone from the inside killing someone. I can see that, but this one is just there's no course or reasoning for why it just happened. He's going into his room to watch Steamboat Willie for some reason, and then he hears voices, and then he puts on a mask, and then like he's able to have teleportation powers and control over phones, and I don't know what the hell. I was assuming at one point he was going to be inside the VR headset when he was messing around with that girl, but luckily it didn't go that far. But it's just like there's like nothing. There's like why this it doesn't make the strobe light effects like there's. It's just one of those where you're just like you're shaking your head and just like wow that's there's like shaking your head because the film's bad and there's just like shaking your head for a film like unbelievably just like not well put together, and this is one of those where you're just like how did that come together at all, because like the pieces don't work and they don't fit at anything that they're trying to achieve with this film.
Yeah, and like that's what I was thinking. I was like, so when they made it a point to show that it was like, oh, there's this, he's wearing a hockey jersey. Why? That was the big thing that people kept trying to say was, oh, it's this guy because he's wearing a hockey jersey. And you're like, oh, no, it can't be him because he's right here. And it's like, okay, then why put him in the hockey jersey? Like, I think
another point that I don't know if I'm misremembering this or not, but there's a scene where like she's going to look for the two in the jungle gym, and she goes there and she sees Mickey, and he turns around and he's holding the knife and he slashes the air, and then like she gets blood on her cheek, and I'm assuming that like that was like blood from the knife he already killed her that like landed on her cheek, or did the knife through the air cut her and slice her cheek? That's the one thing I was like,
she says this isn't my blood.
Yeah.
To them, but she said that that play area was covered in someone's blood. Yeah. So but I was also confused by that. I was like, wait, did he just fling blood at her? I was like, that knife didn't look like it had any blood on it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's just like, again, it's just one of those things. I guess I was zoned out. I guess I was just watching it and I was in a daze, and like whatever goop this is just not, it's not fun. And it's just like, those are the worst too, where just like, at least, like the main one, it kind of had a little bit of like, you could see that they were trying a little bit, but they just didn't have the means to work with it. This one is just shoehorned in, and I'm just going to make it fucking work, whether I want it works or not. And that's what the mentality of this film feels like. It's just like, no, we're changing this up. It's not going to be this already lame killer that I had it planned. We're going to put Mickey Mouse mask on the killer and make everything work around it.
No, that's all this is. And I mean, I don't even know if there's anything left to tear into this movie.
There's truly not. I mean we kind of went into like main spoilers here and there, but not like too crazy, because it just came out, so we can't really go too heavy into the spoilers. But there's really, I mean, what spoilers are there? But it's just
the conversations they had.
Oh boy, like I haven't heard that in every slasher film ever made.
Oh God, that was my, honestly, the teleportation and stuff, while being a kind of an issue for me, I think the real issue was how much dialogue was in this movie. Unnecessary dialogue. I was like, I just sitting here watching. I was like, looking at the time, I was like, they've been literally having this conversation for about 10 minutes now. I was like, and it's just 90% of the movie felt like it was just them having conversations with each other instead of like showing like Mickey itself. And I feel like if they cut down all of the talking and gave us a little bit more, like, give us more understanding of what the killer really is. They don't have to say who it was. They don't have to, give us just like is this the dark spirit of Mickey Mouse or for some fucking reason. And that doesn't even make sense. Was this haunted? Was this it just, there's no rhyme or reason to why what is going on is going on.
No. And that makes the film just fall apart. And it's just like, it's not, that's the reason we're kind of ragging on it, because it just falls apart from the very fucking onset. As soon as the film starts, whatever the fuck happens with the mask and the film reel, it just falls in on itself. I mean, it just eats itself. It's fucking cannibal. We're just like eating, it's just constantly eating itself until it's just like gnawing to the bone. And like, nope, everything's perfectly fine. It's like that stupid meme where that dog's sitting in the kitchen and the room's on fire. Everything's fine. Everything works perfectly. Everything is fucking peachy.
But this is definitely one of probably the worst films we've watched in a while. I'm calling that right now.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's just not competently made.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just your basic slasher in a fun park, but the slasher element doesn't make sense and doesn't work. And that's what makes it bad. I mean, it's just like the idea for the killing or what causes it and why, the general idea of why any of this is happening caves in on itself and just makes the film bad in general.
Yeah.
It's just by association. It's like, again, basic bitch slasher movie that, again, it would have been relegated to the annals of Tubi, but put Mickey Mouse Mask Killer in there and he gets notoriety and people get subjugated to it, I'm like,
and I just wish they put as much care into this movie as the people who made Winnie the Pooh did.
I mean,
because at least they fucking tried.
Yeah, with both of them, yeah.
Yeah, both of the movies actually tried. And I was worried that those movies was going to be what this movie was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it can't be done. They had, and like you said, it felt like they were trying to make one movie, and then halfway through was like, oh, hey, let's do it this way. And they're like, oh, okay, let's just not do anything different. Let's just keep going and
make it work.
And they're probably like, it's good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, just do it on Sundays. That'll be all right. Why should I care? I'm gonna get a little bit of money. It has a little bit of notoriety in there. You get a couple $1,000 back. Expenses, distribution deals. People pay me a little bit of money to show that I didn't try that much.
Yeah.
And oh well. I really don't have anything else to say about this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, we went on half the film's runtime, and I just don't even. It's not even really worth, for those listening. It's not I think we kind of said it there at the beginning. It's not worth the time, but still, if you stuck with us for the 40 minutes, we appreciate it.
Wow.
Because every now and then, we do tear into stuff, and this is one of those that just we were good with some of the other public domain titles, and spoke our mind, and we could see the good and the bad with the other ones, especially with Mean One. You can go back to that review, but this one is just there's no other course for this review. I mean, because this is just how the film is. And we dug into it as because that was the only reason the only way. There's no other way. There's no course of action. Like, they didn't try. Why should we? In a sense. And I think we did gave better thoughts and expositions and more thought than they did. And because at least our review makes sense and better than their fucking mass Mickey Mouse making no sense whatsoever. But Ian, any final word before we call this a show?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much talked about everything, and I'd just be chasing my tail too much. So
yeah, I do believe this has to be the worst 2024 horror film.
yeah,
I mean, because I've watched, again, non-theatrical. I mean, I've seen most of the theatrical films except for a few. I've been trying to do my best to catch up on some of that, but this is definitely the worst of the bunch so far. This is just there's no other. This is the worst of the year so far.
Yeah.
And so congrats. You made the worst horror film of 2024.
Yeah. Definitely did that.
Yeah. But Ian, as always, it's great talking with you, and I'm amazed we made it through this one. But now it's time to hit that strobe light and teleport out of here, because that's going to do it for the end of this show. So I appreciate everyone for listening and sticking around for this review. And who knows what the rest of the month has in store for us, but we'll take it as they come. And but we had to get this one out there because we had to. So
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on Horror Night Oasis.
Good night.